My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. Next up at UFC 263, we have one of three rematches on this card. We have Eryk Anders versus Darren Stewart. This is a rematch, but it's at a different weight class, right? Wasn't the first fight at... I believe this rematch is at a different weight class. This is at light heavyweight. The first fight was at middleweight, so they've bumped up. And I'm going to say it's an interesting matchup, but we were high on Eryk Anders last time. I had Eryk winning that fight, and it was in a league.
I did not. I had Stewart. I was all in on Stewart the last time, I think.
Yeah, I was high on Eryk Anders. There was an illegal knee, and I don't know how much you can look at the last fight because that's always interesting, right? It is a rematch. But with that being said, are they going to fight the exact same way? I assume not, right? They learned from that fight. They're going to make some changes so they don't fight the exact same way. But Eryk Anders is 2-1-1 in his last five, and so is Darren Stewart. Both of these guys sort of at a crossroads in their career. Eryk's the favorite because, he was looking a little better in his last fight. And I think Eryk probably should be the favorite. I think Eryk Anders wins this rematch. But again, rematches are funny that way, especially one that ends the way this one ended. You don't necessarily know what's going to happen because you can't just assume they're going to do the exact same thing that they did last time. But I don't know what your thoughts are here, Dan, but
yeah, no, I mean, I was pretty high on Stewart in this last one. I just thought he was the all-around better fighter everywhere. I thought it was going to be a striking match, which it was. I thought it would end up in the clinch at some points, which it did. And I kind of said, unless Anders lands a big bomb, I see Stewart outclassing him on the feet and probably anywhere the fight goes, which sort of happened for like 2 minutes, but then Anders did land a bomb. And unfortunately for him, he threw that like halfway, illegal knee. And I think Stewart got bailed out. But, I mean, he hadn't been knocked out, I think, by anybody before that. So I don't know. I'm nervous about this one after last time because I think Anders was probably on his way to a finish there. And I did not see that being the case going into it. Now, I will say Stewart took that last fight, I think, short notice, I believe. Like you said, this is a different weight class. I believe more of a full training camp. So we could see a totally different fight here. As far as my pick goes, you know what? I guess I got to stick with my original analysis, chalk up the last one as just a weird fight. I'm going to go with Stewart. Plus money, I think I like him here. I think he'll be, motivated, having a full training camp. I'll take him in this one. And then Monkey Knife, I'm going to go with more.
I'm going more also. Yep.
I don't think that, Stewart was rocked in that one, but prior to that, he had hung in there with a lot of top high-level strikers, 8 shots, stayed competitive. So I think this is more all day. And I'm going to look for some sort of bet for Bet Online in this fight because I think there's value. I just want to do a little bit more research on what Stewart's been doing training, where he's at. So throughout the week, I'm going to dig into this one because, it's funny. I said I wasn't going to say it when I came in here. I was like, I'm not picking Stewart again. But literally just ignoring what I told myself a half hour ago. I think I got to go with Stewart at plus money, and I might find a good prop bet as well.
You know what prop bets I've been liking when the outcomes, I'm not always 100% positive. I love the over-under on rounds. I'm loving that. And sometimes they blow it. Sometimes it's like 1.5 rounds. It's like, all right, I can do 1.5. And 2.5 is great because 2.5 rounds in a 3-round fight basically means, is there a stoppage or is there not?
Right.
So in this case, I haven't seen the odds, but an under is probably pretty solid. I think there may be a stoppage. My concern here is, so I think Eryk wins, but my concern is he knows he has the power. He pretty much got the knockout last time. I hope he doesn't come out here chasing that again, just throwing wild everything with 100% heat because he knows he can touch Darren. That would be my concern, is that it's sort of caution to the wind because he's just chasing that exact same, punch again.
One thing I will say about their last fight, I think, which is what surprised me kind of, and why I was going Stewart so heavily prior to it, is I think Eryk Anders made some significant adjustments before that fight in terms of conditioning and just overall preparedness. Like I think he had some performances where he gassed out, he looked slow, and he said it in interviews. He's like, I was embarrassed that I fought like that. So when you can acknowledge that and say that and then come back, like he looked like he was in a different fighter in that last fight. So if we have more of that, I mean, who knows? He could do the same thing again. So we'll see. I think it's going to be a good fight, and probably one where in DraftKings you could play both sides of it if you're in tournament entries. And I'd say there's a lot of value on Stewart, but
I bet Eryk is probably the better DraftKings play because he has the actual, I mean, not that Darren doesn't have the knockout power, but Eryk has shown us he can knock this exact human being out. The problem is that if he chases it, he may be on the wrong side of just getting touched up and being caught on the outside.
Right.
Well, either way, it'll be a fun fight. I'm looking forward to this fight. I think the monkey knife fight play is definitely more and more, because even if Eryk is chasing that knockout, that's going to be a lot of volume. And Darren will be trying to keep him away or imposing his own. And we'll get past a round or two. And that's all you need to get 50, more than 60 and more than 35. So I like that monkey knife fight line. I'm playing the more and more there.